Britain's royals generally appear calm and collected in public, so it's rare to see a member of the family losing their temper. But it has happened on occasion, and we've compiled a list of some epic moments of royal rage. Prince Harry has had an understandably complicated relationship with the press ever since his mother was killed in a car crash while fleeing the paparazzi in 1997. When he was interviewed for the BBC documentary Diana, 7 Days, the prince said, "One of the hardest things to come to terms with is the fact that the people that chased her through into the tunnel were the same people taking photographs of her while she was still dying on the back seat." In 2004, 7 years after his mother's tragic passing, Harry allegedly snapped. The 20-year-old royal was reportedly swamped by the paparazzi as he left London nightclub Pangaea in the early hours of the morning and allegedly left a photographer with a bloody lip. A Clarence House statement published in The Guardian said, "Prince Harry was hit in the face by a camera as photographers crowded around him as he was getting into a car. In pushing the camera away, it's understood that a photographer's lip was cut." However, the photographer Chris Uncle had a very different story. He told the London Evening Standard, "Prince Harry burst out the car and lunged towards me as I was still taking pictures. He lashed out and then deliberately pushed my camera into my face." It seems as though Harry's dislike of the press has only intensified over the years. On October 1st, 2019, the prince released an official statement condemning the British tabloid press for its treatment of his wife Meghan Markle, in which he said, "I lost my mother and now I watch my wife falling victim to the same powerful forces." Queen Elizabeth's husband has a reputation for being the most gaffe-prone member of the royal family, and not without good reason. Prince Philip speaks his mind in a way that most royals don't dare, so if and when he loses his temper, you'll know about it in no uncertain terms. According to The Telegraph, Prince Philip once gave a Cambridge University car park attendant who didn't recognize him a royal dressing down, and he's apparently not a huge fan of Elton John. During the Rocketman Singer's Royal Variety performance in 2001, Philip was allegedly seen muttering, "I wish he'd turn the microphone off." But it's cameramen that really seemed to grind Prince Philip's gears, after a photographer who was trying to get some sneaky shots of the royals in India reportedly slipped and fell out of a tree. Philip allegedly said, "I hope he breaks his bloody neck." Philip was in an equally unsympathetic mood when he attended an event to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. The Duke of Edinburgh, who was posing for a picture with a number of veterans from the famous battle, was seen snapping at the photographer when he grew tired of waiting. In footage attained by the BBC, the prince can be heard saying, "Just take the f***ing picture." Queen Elizabeth has always had a good poker face, but when she's really, truly angry, it tends to show. Newsnight presenter Emily Maitlis was the first to point out just how furious Her Majesty looked delivering her 65th Queen's speech at the state opening of Parliament in 2019, apparently frustrated at the government's lack of progress on a Brexit deal. She managed to keep her temper in check on this occasion, which wasn't the case when William almost killed his cousin. When the future king was a child, he and his cousin Peter Phillips were caught riding a quad bike on the Queen's lawns at Balmoral. Her Majesty apparently got quite the fright when William caused Peter's little sister, Zara Tyndall, to crash her go-kart straight into a lamppost. The post apparently came loose and toppled over, almost crushing Zara. Prince William recalled the incident in an interview with The Telegraph and said,
"And I remember my grandmother being the first person out of Balmoral, running across the lawn in her kilt, and came charging over and gave us the most mighty
Prince Harry took 2 tours of Afghanistan during his decade in the British Army. The prince reportedly felt more like a normal person when he was away with the armed forces, which is why he allegedly lost his temper big time when one of his deployments had to be cut short. The press somehow discovered Harry's location, putting the royal and the rest of his regiment at risk. Harry was hauled home, and according to one royal expert, he was not pleased about it. In 2019, royal expert Duncan Larkham appeared on Yahoo web series The Royal Box and said he was absolutely furious. Where did he go? Straight to Botswana with Chelsea Davy. Straight there and spent a couple of weeks there. Harry also spent time in Botswana after his mother's sudden passing, and it remains a haven for him to this day. In fact, sources claim he and Meghan Markle are planning to move to the African nation in the near future to escape the British press. An insider reportedly told The Mirror in 2019, "Harry loves the idea of Archie spending a lot of his childhood in the country as it has been such a healing and beautiful place for him." Before Kate Middleton was the Duchess of Cambridge, she was just a regular person. Well, apart from the fact that her parents are wealthy business owners who reportedly live in an $8.5 million mansion. Even so, Middleton still had to work her own jobs growing up, and she reportedly lost her temper when she was employed at the Ocean Village Marina in Southampton. For her book Kate, the Future Queen, royal scholar Katie Nicholl interviewed some of Middleton's former colleagues, who happily revealed details of a workplace prank that left the future Duchess angry and embarrassed. past. Middleton reportedly had a number of different duties at the marina, including giving safety demonstrations to customers. One day, some of her co-workers apparently decided to mess with the life jacket that she used for her demonstration, and Middleton was left red-faced. One of the Duchess's former colleagues told Nickel, when she pulled the toggle, the thing inflated and a load of condoms fell out. She was mortified and very embarrassed. She took it more seriously than others might have, but she wasn't thrown off her stride. She was angry at first, but she settled down, and I don't remember her ever getting her own back. By now, you've probably seen that uncomfortable clip of Prince Harry seemingly scolding his wife Meghan Markle during the 2019 Trooping the Colour ceremony, or at least some version of it. An edited version of the incident, which has been slowed down and manipulated to make the telling off appear a lot worse, was circulated online. The clip went viral, and that's what turned this into such a huge story. There's no doubt that certain members of the press and the general public, it would seem, are out to get Harry and Meghan. But there's also no denying the fact that the prince looked stern as he spoke to his American bride on the Buckingham Palace balcony that day, and it was caught on camera for all to see.
Because the British tabloids will destroy your life.
Lip-reading experts agreed that the stern-faced Harry did in fact tell Markle to turn around and to face the public, presumably because God Save the Queen was about to start playing, and the tradition dictates that the royals face their well-wishers during the national anthem. According to the Daily Mail's lip reader, the prince curtly answered a question from his wife and said, "Yes, that's right." When Markle turned to face Harry a second time, that's when he allegedly said, "Turn around." It's still unclear whether Prince Harry was actually angry at his wife, but he certainly didn't seem to be his usual happy self during the event. Royal expert Katie Nichols' book, The Making of a Royal Romance, is a fascinating read for royal fanatics, especially those with a particular interest in how Prince William and Kate Middleton first met while they were students at the University of St. Andrews. The book charts Middleton's rise to royalty from her early days in the friend zone to when she finally caught William's eye. Nichols covers plenty of juicy gossip from the royal couple's past, including details of an incredibly cringe-inducing party game involving William, Kate, and one of the prince's ex-girlfriends. William reportedly remained on good terms with the former partner after they split, and everything was apparently amicable when he later hooked up with Kate, until all three of them ended up at the same dinner party one night. According to one attendee, somebody suggested that everyone play a game of Never Have I Ever, and that's when the awkwardness began. An insider dish to Nickel, when it was Prince William's ex-girlfriend's turn to play, she announced, "I've never dated two people in this room," knowing full well that William was the only one who had because Kate was sitting next to him. Prince William wasn't best pleased with his ex-girlfriend's comment and allegedly whispered to her, "I can't believe you just said that." Controversial media mogul and politician Silvio Berlusconi is well known for being outspoken and brash, qualities that the Queen clearly doesn't approve of. When he attended the G20 summit in 2009, the Italian Prime Minister apparently started to get under Her Majesty's skin with his behavior. When the group of world leaders gathered at Buckingham Palace for a photograph with the Queen, most showed the appropriate amount of respect to the royal. However, according to The Telegraph, Berlusconi could be heard shouting across the room, "Mr. Obama!" Needless to say, the Queen did not appreciate his volume. Per The Telegraph, the exasperated monarch could be seen throwing her arms in the air, and it's believed that she said, "Why does he have to shout? Why?" Most of the leaders reportedly laughed awkwardly at the Queen's outburst and tried to keep the meeting friendly. Her Majesty didn't seem to be smiling, however. In fact, according to reports, the Queen didn't seem very happy at all that day, and is said to have snapped at the photographer taking the picture when they asked her to smile more. According to The Telegraph, the Queen said, "Is this supposed to be a happy event?" Unsurprisingly, the clip of Berlusconi getting scolded by the Queen quickly went viral, proving that you should not mess with the Queen of England. He might be third in line to the British throne, but Prince George isn't above a good telling off when he's acting out, even if it's in public. The little royal was reportedly left in floods of tears at the wedding of Pippa Middleton and James Matthews, with the son asking, "Is this why Kate gave Prince George a stern telling off and made him have a right royal tantrum?" Footage obtained by the British tabloid seems to show the page boy standing on the train of his aunt's bespoke Giles Deacon wedding dress. The white lace number is said to have cost over $50,000. So it's no wonder Kate Middleton lost her temper when she saw her son walking all over it. The Duchess of Cambridge was spotted having some stern words with George as they left the church to head to the reception, which momentarily reduced the little royal to tears. And George isn't a special case, as apparently his little sister has had a fair few tantrums too. Princess Charlotte reportedly threatened to make a scene at Hamburg airport after William and Kate's visit to Poland and Germany in 2017. But her mom quickly stepped in to stop her daughter's mood from escalating. Luckily Luckily for the royals, Charlotte reportedly didn't burst into tears, and the Cambridge clan were boarded onto their flight with no issues. Kate seems to know exactly when to switch from Duchess duties to mom mode. During an interview with Talk Vietnam, while attending the International Conference on the Illegal Wildlife Trade in 2016, Prince William adorably said, "I'm very lucky with the support I have from Catherine. She is an amazing mother and a fantastic wife."